You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS fluff or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today is episode 286. Ask Amber, should I combine my work and personal calendars? If you're a business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate your productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me today. We're going to be diving into my answer to the question I often get asked, which is, should I be combining my work and personal calendars? Stay tuned as we dive into my response. If you would love help managing your time, creating efficiency, making a new hire, reducing the stress and overwhelm of running a business, or making strategic decisions that will help you level up your business, then I would love to talk to you. I invite you to schedule a discovery call so we can discuss partnering together to help you get unstuck, reduce stress, and determine a clear path to increase profits. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/call to schedule. And now, let's get to the straight talk. I get asked a lot, should I combine my work and personal calendars? And my answer is, it depends. And I know, this should be a question I can give a solid yes, no answer to, but this is not the case. I personally choose to combine my work and personal calendars and have done so since I started my business. I recommend my clients to combine them on their calendar in most cases, but there are some exceptions that you should consider when deciding if you too will combine your personal and work calendars. What could make the answer a no? Do not combine your work and personal calendars. The first reason is if you share your calendar with people on your team who you don't want to disclose your personal whereabouts to. For various reasons, security, privacy, accountability, perhaps even guilt over not working while your team is. While this is totally understandable, it is worth asking a different question though. Do you really trust your team members? If you don't, and that is actually the underlying reason, then I recommend you address that concern first. And definitely more on that in a future episode. However, mistrust of your team members aside, if it truly is a security or preference in privacy, then absolutely do not combine the two if you're sharing it with team members. Next, if you utilize a family calendar and don't want your team to see everything your family is up to for one of the same reasons I just mentioned above. Many of you may already have a family calendar that is working well for you. And if you're sharing that calendar with family members, then I think that you should continue with that and not mix the two, personal and work. However, toward the end of today's episode, I will share with you how you can actually have a hybrid of both if you choose to keep them separate. That's it. Those were the top reasons I could come up with for it to be a no, you do not combine them. But what I'd like to dive into next is what would make my answer be a yes. Number one, if you trust your team and cannot see any other reason why not to combine your work and personal calendars, definitely do so. And here are some of the benefits on why I lean towards yes. It is so much easier to look at one calendar than switching back and forth between two separate calendars. It also helps you create healthy work-life balance because you can see where your time is being spent. It helps with eliminating double bookings. For that meeting that is scheduled at 4, but your kid has a basketball game across town at 5:30. If it's all on one calendar, you can see the game, you can see travel time, and most likely you're not going to be booking a meeting at the end of the day at 4 o'clock. It's really important that you can see your whole life in one screen while making decisions about where you're investing your time. It also helps for double bookings, such as you have a dentist appointment and it's on one calendar and your assistant books you for another meeting at the same time because they can't see your dentist appointment. Another benefit is your team and clients don't book time for you that you are unavailable. Now, I just gave the example for the dentist, but you can be unavailable for various reasons. You could decide to take a half day off because the kids are getting out of school early, or you want to play hooky with your significant other. You are able to mark yourself as unavailable for many personal reasons, and it's helpful for your team to know what your availability is. It allows you to plan ahead. So the benefit here is that you can see, vacations coming up, days off that you want to take, long 3-day weekends. You're able to look ahead and integrate both work and personal. It helps you foresee conflicts and be proactive in rescheduling where needed. It provides a full picture of availability to yourself and your team members who might need support. It's also great visual of when you find yourself overcommitted, and that's setting yourself up for stress and exhaustion. Not all seasons in our business or seasons in our personal life are the same. And when we can see them overlapping, you're able to make adjustments. One great example of this recently that I had is that my son was playing basketball from March until June. And that meant 2 games a week, 2 practices a week. Games were all over town, and they were at all different times of the afternoon. And so to properly plan ahead and know when I had to stop my workday, properly plan ahead so that I was not overcommitting myself in those seasons to where it felt incredibly stressful to get off work at a certain time to make those basketball games was really important to me because, look, in hindsight, it's a short season. Ultimately, it was the end of May, early June, so we're talking just a few months. And for me to be able to see visually how much we had going on in the afternoons and evenings during that time allowed me to make adjustments in my schedule so that I was not overwhelmed, stressed out, or exhausted. All right, next I want to go into some pro tips. Now that I've shared with you all the benefits of combining, and I probably just scratched the surface, but let's go into some pro tips. If you want to combine your calendar, but keep your personal events private, there are options. Number 1, set up both calendars in a way that you can see them side by side. You can find the links in the show notes, or you can Google search how to add another calendar in Google or Outlook. So we have these links available and they'll be in the show notes. You can go to amberdelagarza.com/286. I have found the how-to guides. This how-to guide will show you how to bring up in one screen 2 separate calendars that are not specifically combined, but that you can be making decisions about your availability because you're looking at both at the same time. Tip number 2, you can set specific appointments on your calendar to be private if privacy is important to you for certain appointments. So it won't say doctor's appointment. It won't say dentist, OBGYN. It won't say nail appointment. It will simply say private and unavailable. You can also find the how-to notes at amberdelagarza.com 5286, or you can simply Google search change the privacy settings for an event. Next, if you want a hybrid solution to managing your family calendar and work calendar, there's a few options here too. Number one, you can invite others to specific events on both your work and personal calendars. Okay, so you're keeping them separate, but you do need them a bit integrated. If there's an event that I want my husband to attend with me, like a family barbecue, I send him an invite so that he gets it on his own personal calendar as well, instead of him having to see my combined work and personal calendars all the time. Another example here is that I am generally the one that picks our son up from school, but there are times where I have to have other work commitments and I need him to pick him up. So we do not share a family calendar because I integrate my personal and, work calendar together. But there is a need to communicate with my husband on these events. So what I would do is, in this example, the same thing is I would invite him to the calendared event to pick up our son, and he can add it to his calendar. So his calendar is his own personal stuff plus a mix of anything that is family related that I need him to know about. I keep everything personal and business, and this allows me to not have to share my entire detail of my work calendar with him, nor does he want to. While my color-coded calendar with everything time blocked definitely keeps me productive and at ease, he often asks how I function. So it would be of no help to him to see all the things. He just needs to be aware and know of the things that affect him or that he is invited to. All right, I hope that makes sense. Number 2 is if you keep a master family personal calendar for the events that might affect your business schedule, because maybe it happens during the workday, you can invite your business self to the event from your personal calendar so that it shows up on your business calendar as well. So I just want to rephrase that. Earlier, I said that there's a few reasons why you would not want to combine the two, and this is that strategy. So you have one personal calendar and one work calendar, and the way to make that hybrid is to invite yourself. And I often see this working well if the rule is anything personal that would affect the business day, you invite your business self to, and then you can accept it and it blocks it off on your business schedule. And then anything business that might fall over into your personal time, then you would invite your personal self to make sure it gets on that calendar so that you're not double booking yourself. This works well, again, if you want to keep them separate, if you have good work boundaries, you understand what your, typical work day is, your typical work week is, and then they are a bit integrated and you're being very selective with what gets put on what calendar. Okay, so that could work as a backup, kind of plan B to having them combined, but selectively combined. To answer the question I often get asked, should I combine my work and personal calendars? The answer is most certainly, it depends, but definitely leaning towards yes. As a small business owner, your life and work are integrated. So unless there is a good reason not to combine your work and personal calendars, you definitely should be. I have loved having you listen to Productivity Straight Talk, and I sure hope my answering the question of should I combine my work and personal calendars to be valuable and insightful, and definitely giving you the pros and cons so that you can make a decision for yourself. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So based on the pros and the cons and the tips and the strategies that I shared today, how do you plan to proceed forward with integrating both your personal life and your work life? Did you feel that the pros outweighed the cons to really truly combine them so that you can see the whole picture, feel more organized, be more proactive in planning? Or did you decide that, the cons to integrating them are significant to you and you're going to move forward with a hybrid solution, understanding that every time you make a decision about where you're investing your time in your work or in your personal life, that both calendars do need to be consulted. And this really does help with that integration, as well as creating your own version of work-life balance. I hope you do go take action based on today's episode. If you need help making these types of decisions or finding your own version of work-life balance, if you want coaching and support and accountability in improving your time management, creating more efficiency, making a new hire, reducing the stress and overwhelm of running a business, or making strategic decisions that will help you level up your business, then we should talk. I invite you to schedule a discovery call so that we can talk about what working together might look like and if that supports taking your business to the next level. You can book that call and learn more about working with me by heading on over to amberdelagarza.com/coaching. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/coaching. If you are new here, welcome to Productivity Straight Talk. I hope you did enjoy today's episode. If you did, be sure to hit subscribe so you do not miss another episode. And if you did enjoy today's episode, do not keep Productivity Straight Talk a secret. Share it with a fellow business owner. Perhaps you've had coffee or a Zoom chat with a fellow business owner that has shared with you that it is incredibly challenging to integrate both personal and work. And how do you keep all of the scheduling? Or maybe you have seen a friend double book themselves more than one time. Just send them a text, link to this episode, and share it with them. That's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.